James sent me a message going, "You've got a guy called Andrea bringing you guys food. He's probably got FOMO that he's not here."
Well, he should come.
I told him, I said, "You can come through, bruv." The thing is, when you're too big time these days, you know, it's a different story. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my friends don't even text me anymore.
I'll text you.
No,
Am I a friend?
Yes, you are a friend,
Oh,
but
good.
I'm talking comedy friends. They don't return my calls anymore.
Oh, really?
Too big now. Too big,
You're
brother.
too big at him, man.
No, they're too big,
They're
not
too
me.
big.
I'm too small now. Right.
Welcome to the podcast again.
Thank you. This is such an honor to be here.
We're back.
I've had you guys individually,
Yeah.
and I thought together this could be a great threesome.
Thank you.
Collaborate. And you decided to record it as well.
yeah, yeah. How are you today?
This is like two Kurds. Like, do you know what I mean? Feels on porn.
So when you interview Alex, we're interviewing a black guy.
It's like the burger session, man.
So tell us about the black community.
What a way to dive into a chat.
Just so like if this was another sort of podcast, they would be asking stuff like that. So,
But they would. But
so obviously, with everything that's going on in the
What's your
past
opinion?
year,
Yeah.
obviously, you know, the Black Lives Matter movement, that was like such a big thing. What's your opinion on that? It's just like, that man is the spokesperson.
And he ain't lying.
It's so
Black,
accurate.
lying, yeah.
That is so accurate. But don't you think it feels like really? It doesn't feel organic when someone asks you like that.
Is it, no, what it feels like is obviously like, and then they say they speak over the black guy as well.
Yeah.
So for me, I just think like I don't see color. For me, I don't see. I just think we should all be people. And
I don't
that's
get
how
that, bruv.
treat
I see colour.
things.
I see.
Well,
I know I'm joking. That's what they say, innit?
Yeah, no.
Do you know what? Yeah, well, do you know what? Some people say I understand now why when people say they don't see color, what they actually mean.
What they mean?
Because you see,
What? No, I understand. And from the brief period I've known you, you look like a guy that sees the glass half full, right? You're very centered, right? You're very calm. I don't think you go from either end of the spectrum to sad or.
Why are you talking over the black guy?
Hold on. I'm not. But I'm just saying, yeah. I can see you're seeing the best in people, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
I would say.
okay,
So you're going, oh yeah, what they're thinking. I can already predict what he's gonna say.
what am I going to say?
Basically, right? They want to treat everybody the same. That's what they say in their heads, innit? However, what I think it means is I don't want to have uncomfortable conversations around race.
Okay, so the reason why I would refine what you're saying. So what I would say is the concept of whiteness was something that was introduced into the law in the 18th century.
Yeah.
So what it meant was that if you have this skin color,
Fucking door. Yeah. Carry on.
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? If you were like what's the word? If you have the label of whiteness, you're entitled to A, B, C, D, and E. What that also then meant is that whatever heritage you had didn't matter, because all it mattered is in order to
Colour
get
your
those
skin,
benefits.
yeah.
So over the years, over the history, the generations, you have a part of the community who didn't have to think about their heritage in order to
100%,
navigate life.
yeah.
So now in their world, they don't think about their own skin color. So actually, we all know.
But that's where privilege comes into it, because and that's what people don't understand. But like the concept of whiteness was invented fundamentally because it was like it was invented by rich white people because they didn't want to go. They didn't want people like the poor people of whatever color realizing that they all have things in common with each other, and it was like, how can we exploit? No, how can we exploit these people without them like looking at us like we're the bad guys? We need someone to point to every time something goes wrong. So it's like, no matter how shit your life is or how shit you feel, still better than them lot.
Like a systematic way to.
But the thing is, when you've broken it down consciously, that is true. But the problem is when it becomes so ingrained in what you're doing, what it then means is, because essentially this sort of supremacy, I would argue, is not working for working class people.
100%
However, when you hear people from the working class say, "Well, I don't see color," essentially what I hear is that they've never needed to navigate anything through color, so they are then unable to connect with why you should see it as a thing. So it's not even. So I would say that yes, there is an element of people don't want to engage in these conversations, but they don't. I would also.
But
say,
I would say where I would disagree with you in that aspect is it's not working class white people most of the time. It's middle class white people. I feel like working class white people don't have an issue talking to other people from different races and whatever. Like from my experiences, where when I've grown up or whatever, or when I've been up north and whatever, working class white people are always so much more open to.
That's also because, that's also because the industry that you're in, you got a different level of respect. You have
no. But I honestly feel like, you know, in school you always had the like white boy that was there. He was just cool and you banter about race and whatever with him.
Yeah.
But it was the middle class ones where like you met at uni. That things got a bit more convoluted and whatever. Anyway, we started this really
went deep.
No, but that's good.
Yeah,
but this is why I thought, like, this is why I was like, having you two together would be like sick conversation because you can get into this in a very chill, casual way.
I don't even need to talk. I was like, how can I create content without even opening my mouth?
My friend, this is what I do. I bring people together, you know?
But I mean, I think for me, like, I mean, I'm not sure, how old are you?
I'm 31. But my industry age is 20. No, I'm sorry.
It's industry. Because I think first out, it will depend on a couple of things: age, era. Because the generation of the 30s have grown up where black culture has been distinctly dominant as a fashion trend set in for England, I would say. Yeah. I would also
the Western world, I think, in general.
Western world generally.
Western world,
I would also say that actually, as a default, even within younger age groups, I would argue that in a social context, yes, but sometimes in certain situations where things get a little bit tense, then color scheme becomes something. So what we're saying, that then kind of highlights the subconscious, because again, there's two conversations to this. There's a conscious conversation and there's a subconscious conversation. Subconsciously drives what we do consciously. What we process consciously doesn't always match up to what we do subconsciously. So for example, when someone says, I don't see color, I don't necessarily think that's coming from a negative place. It might be coming from a place of denial, but essentially you've got to understand the framework in which someone's operating in their daily space to then understand why they may come out with a point like, I don't see color. Because for a lot of people, they don't see color because actually their color isn't something to be thinking about. Whereas if you're, like, say, a Kurd, or if you're coming from the black community, you're constantly reminded. So for us, in our basic world, color is one of the first things we think about. If you're not in that world, color is not the first thing that you think about.
No, it isn't. But also, do you know what? I think sometimes when people say I don't see color, it's just often, to me, it's just so much of a cop out, because it's like
it's your way out.
Because you do see color. Because
totally you do.
Yeah, you do
You
100% see color. Because I see that with your interactions on a daily basis. You don't have any friends that aren't from a different background to you, even if it's socio-economic, rather than just like, you know, based on the color of their skin. So you do see color. It's just that there's a lot of times where we haven't delved deep into that, which is why I found during the whole BLM thing, for example, as well, when people started posting up books and stuff on their Instagram, like, I've done my research, whatever. It's like, bro, just go and speak to black people, innit?
That's exactly
what we were talking about.
We were talking about this, about people lack conversations with other people. But the problem is also, you and me, when your parents were refugees, when you came as a refugee, we were placed in council estates or whatever, in areas where there is lots of different
Bruv, I grew up with like Jamaicans, Nigerians.
Exactly the same.
We had a Latino family on one of them. It was called Luciano. Yeah. But there was like you know where there was a radio playing Latin music, like Spanish music, like
that's all you heard.
All you heard out of their house, right? Yeah. So like you're in this melting pot, and then like you've got like the working class white kids as well and stuff as well.
But so then you're growing up, and you and me are growing up with this next level confidence to be able to make, not black jokes, but like, what do you have for breakfast? You had rice and peas.
You see, the thing is,
we can do that because we're so comfortable with experiencing that sort of, not conflict.
Well, I mean, I think also people, like, whenever like somebody comes at you and says something to you that's nuanced about a racial aspect of your being, right? If it's nuanced and specific enough, you can understand that it's coming from a place of love and not a place of hate. Yeah. Whereas Whereas if I, for example, go, "What you have for breakfast? Weed?" Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. Then it's like, yo, you're being fucking racist, bro.
But
do you know what I mean?
The way you said that and the way some guys come like that is because they're anxious.
Yeah,
it comes from a good place sometimes.
And the thing is, Dylan, you got to think people that talk like that to themselves.
Yeah.
So this is why I'm saying that you've got to understand the framework of how people think. You go in the working class community, banter is a go-to culture.
Oh, banter is lovely though.
Right, it's wicked. But what it also does is, on the flip side, from my observation, I've seen that it's also a way to mask everything from anxiety, awkwardness,
100%,
fear. So where we're standing, obviously, and again, remember our framework and everything that's been fed into us, our parents telling us how we need to navigate, us observing the differences. So, being, say, for myself, being black in a majority white area, straight away from a kid, I'm having to observe differences and make sense. For a lot of white people, they haven't had those basic processes.
No, of course, yeah.
So essentially, emotionally,
Dylan's losing all his followers right now.
No. You know what? They love these conversations because a lot of my audience is.
I'm fucking around.
No, it's funny. No, but it's good. They always they want to know more.
I really liked your podcast until you got that Kurdish fella and that, am I allowed to say, black guy on the podcast? For the whole duration of the podcast, I felt attacked. ... I do not like feeling.
Yeah, but you know what? There's going to be some Karens that are going to be like that, and they can fuck off. I don't want them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's true because, and they're uncomfortable with that.
I'm going to go back to listening to James Smith podcast.
But you know what's mad though? Because in a lot of sense though, that also makes it's sometimes easier for him to be more relatable to that audience, because I would have to have a different challenge to get myself across.
Yeah.
Because when I'm saying, I've seen people like the way I talk, right, being from East London or whatever, like, why you talk like a black guy? I'm like, bruv, I don't talk like a black guy. This is how people from actually like London in these areas talk like. Yes. Just because you're from outside London and you talk proper or whatever.
Well, the whole this whole notion of what it is like to talk like a black person or he's acting black, right, is such a fucking stupid thing as well, because it's like it's often when I've had friends that don't speak with slang or whatever and are black, and then they've been told by other people that, oh yeah, you're not really, do you know what I mean? Like, you're black, but you don't really sound.
You don't really
sound,
but
KSI gets this, innit?
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know about if KSI, but it's like there isn't a uniform way, and I think if you're going into the difference in the London accent, right, I think there's such a massive shift in accents as well, because I read somewhere, for example, Cockneys are dying out, right, and it's not like you don't have white working class people anymore, but it's because of the different cultures and people that have come into this country.
Yeah.
The accent has changed, right? So you do get like slang words now that's like, you've got because
it's Jamaican influence,
Jamaican, African,
the Indian influence.
And also like even words like wallahi or whatever.
Say wallahi, bro.
Say wallahi, like where you got like Somalis and Pakistanis and whatever that have come here, and it's created this sort of it's a different part of our lexicon now, that like we've added so much languages and there's been so much cultures that have come here, like we've got such a different accent now that's uniquely English, which we didn't have before, and it's not Cockney, but it's a hybrid of all of these different things, which is so you're not talking black, bruv. You're just talking.
But the thing is, I'm gonna say something very controversial now. I think part of the challenge is
more followers gone.
I don't like y'all. That's what I've been waiting to say it.
What's wrong with you?
But like, part of the challenge for working class is that I think they have not been able to, but I say not able to, they haven't been allowed to, or they haven't bothered to take the time to understand what makes their culture. So, for example,
they don't know.
Yeah, and so but see, because during the industrial era, you had this long period of time where working class men were working frontline for the country and doing the jobs that made the direct money that the countries would export the product, shipping, cars, all of that sort of stuff. Around that, you then design the lifestyle. Men are on the front line, women are at home, the kids play out. When the kids maybe get through school, maybe they don't get through school, they go straight to working with their dads.
There's one listener, listen to this guy. I like this guy. This one talking about women
kebab.
in the house.
Free kebab.
Women in the house.
Stay at home.
This is very good. Continue, please.
Yes. Half price. Shish kebab for you. Come.
Continue, please. This one very good. Please say to this camera.
So basically, I think over the time now, things have changed. Immigration movements happened. Maggie Thatcher pulled the plug on what was now becoming the routine for working class English people. When I look at from the many conversations I've had, and I don't know what your experiences are, a lot of working class people, in my opinion, tend to aspire more to routine than they are to taking aspirations that take them away from what they know.
Taking risks,
so it's all about, you kind of get that job, you start your family, you settle down, you kind of get on, and that's.
But do you know how hard you can't have dreams when you're broke.
Sorry,
you can't have dreams when you're broke. A lot of the time, right? That like you have a dream, but reality hits hard.
Yeah.
So it's like that's why I find it funny when people like when you see those like American motivate, you've gotta want it. You've just gotta want it, and it's like you can want it, but then also it's amazing when daddy can fund your lifestyle while you're wanting it, and then you can pretend or whatever. Whereas when you're like a working class person, where it's just like, blood, mum's ill, dad ain't around, I've got to pay the rent for this house or whatever. Yeah. I've got to work full time, and I've also got to like try and release content, try and do this, that, the other. Like it is a hard thing to do. Yeah.
So then now you're highlighting something else now, because something I've often said in the past, there is trauma that's suppressed within communities that isn't understood. Yeah. Because the reality is there's a lot of working class communities who also may not have the direct opportunities, but they do keep the vision. And we've seen it in many families. We've seen it in Asian families. They've been bullied, but yet now they've got the land. So there's something about what we're seeing in
immigrant hustle, isn't it?
Maybe that's what. Well,
I mean, a lot. So okay, there's something to be said about though. Like this whole divide and conquer stuff. When you see when people go BAME, I hate that term.
What's that?
BAME. BAME, so Black, Asian, Minority, Ethnic.
I never heard that.
You've never heard of it?
Okay.
This is why you need to read, brother. Right?
I don't.
So when they often talk about BAME communities, what they say is Black, African, Black,
African,
Black, Asian,
Black and
Minority,
Asian,
Ethnic.
Yeah.
Hate the term.
Yeah.
Anyway, what was my point? Fucking hell, like you made me forget.
No, so I mentioned about trauma, and we were talking about.
Yes. So often they group us into one, right? And it's that othering, right? So it's that othering where it's like us lot and the others kind of thing, and that's what it feels like, right? But I think what a lot of people don't understand is how a lot of the sacrifices, or perhaps like the campaigning that a lot of black activists did, a lot of people of all sorts of colour did benefit from it, right? And I think often, I mean, this is where we're going to go even deeper to it, because of there are varying degrees of racism within every different community as well.
Yeah, there
right?
is.
So
Totally.
So there's massive problems with anti-blackness across other Asian and minority ethnic communities as well. Totally. So let's, for example, the Bristol bus boycotts, right? Yeah. Where it was black drivers, fundamentally, black people, boycotting the buses because there was no black drivers. Yeah. Right. There was all the drivers were white, kind of thing. The first people of color that drove the buses were Asian, right? But that wasn't necessarily down to the Asian community. It was an initiative started by black activists and whatever in Bristol, where they were like, you know what, we're going to boycott the bus system because we want this to change.
It was actually a school teacher that I think triggered it all off. Yeah.
So do you see where I'm coming from? So people don't understand this sort of stuff as well. So people so that's why sometimes I sort of feel sorry for aspects of that community where it's like you're being grouped amongst other people. Like you did the work and now somebody else is benefiting off of it in a sense as well. Yeah. Do you see what I'm coming from? Like it gets so mad because then it's like a lot of the Asian communities that came here though, they 100% they had to experience a lot of racism.
How long have they been here? When did your parents come? Were you born here?
I was born here. My parents came here in the late.
You were one step away from. Your English is surprising. Well, young man.
You're very articulate. I've had that. Listen, I remember one time I was
come here.
I was up north and I was talking and I was at my mate's. Oh gosh, I shouldn't even say, but okay, I won't say. I was up north and we was at a dinner table.
I was in Cunch, innit, right? And
I don't know how much people was big him up, but like we was at the dinner table and then like my friend's grandparent was like, man, he's very, what did he say? He's
well
very well
spoken
travelled and intelligent considering. And all I remember the side of my eye.
Oh no.
Yeah. We had, but you know what? It's cool because I get it, and I say it's cool. It's like
you know why they said that? They've never seen. They've never.
And it's pointless getting angry at the manifest. I mean, no, okay, it's not. It's pointless, but the manifestation will always push buttons, but. We can't expect different until we're really dealing.
I know
with
what you mean.
causes.
It's like when they were saying like Tyson Fury's got some backward views about women, right? And you were like, big man, he hits people for living, bro. Like, what the fuck were you expecting? Like, the guy
calls
bangs
himself Gypsy King.
Exactly.
Calls himself Gypsy King.
The guy literally bangs people in the face, right?
Yeah.
That's the way he makes money by punching people in the face. You thought this guy was gonna be the guy to go to talk about feminist discourse and fucking.
He calls himself Gypsy King.
Yeah, I know. So, but that's what I'm saying. When people expect like, all right. So when they say things like Churchill was racist, yeah, but so was everybody else at that point in time. That's why like sometimes we're just annoyed because it's like, yeah, Churchill was racist. Of course he was racist, but like so was your nan.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, so was your
context. The context.
Exactly. Like in that day and time, right? Where it's like, because there's even like examples of where Gandhi was very anti-black and a lot of the stuff he did in South Africa as a lawyer and was that sort of stuff. And people go, well, yeah, he lived in an apartheid society. So for him to be a lawyer in the and be successful in that sphere, he had to be racist.
Absolutely.
Do you see where I'm coming from? So when people say this stuff, like they take context and nuance out of a lot of this stuff. It's racist. But I'll tell you, the only reason I stopped reading the Gandhi autobiography, by the way, was when he talked about how he was getting beaten and he never hit back, and I was just like, I can't read this book.
So pushover.
Yeah, man was basically talking about like how like he got beaten up by some training inspectors and he never beat them. He never fought back, and I was like, I can't rate you, bruv. It was, you know, the toxic masculinity just came out of me, and I was like, fight back, fight back. You know what I mean? Where it's like, fight back.
But do you know what I mean? Every person's philosophy, I guess, is always a reflection of where they're at and what you know what I mean. That's what at the end of the day, there is no right and wrong. Do you know what I mean?
But you see what you said about like you get that sort of racism everywhere. The problem is a lot of white people will get the negative thing from that, especially in this world, is because people that want a good life, they go to the Western world.
Yeah.
No one goes to fucking like, you're not going to Turkey for a better life, are you?
No, because I'll get killed. But it's mad. But
it's kind of mad still, which is why they get more of it. You know, so
it's an interesting point. I mean, touch on that more. I mean, how do you think that impacts them? Because I think that is a good point.
Because it impacts them in a way where if they say, put it like this, people my age, right? Even if they were raised like that, it puts them in a difficult situation in the sense of even approaching someone to have a conversation with them because of maybe not trauma they went through being younger, but they don't even know how to fucking hold a conversation for that reason. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But like you get this in Turkey. You get it from about the Kurds. You get it about the Syrians that come in. And I'm thinking, fucking, I never thought of it like this, because every time I've either thought about my scenario in England, but never really looked out in over there. I mean, when have you seen? It's been rare. I've seen a Bangladeshi girl with a black guy.
What do you mean get with him?
No. Like it's rare.
Yeah.
A Bengali getting what with a black guy? Sorry.
No, I'm saying it's rare that I've seen a Bangladeshi girl with a black guy.
Oh no, I've seen it.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Where
have you been, bruv? Right, like.
Sorry, I moved to Southwest.
You know, in my time, I didn't see.
I mean, they both probably disowned their families, but like.
But that's what I'm trying to say. But that's what I'm trying to say.
Like, yeah. But it's like I've got like my friend Nabil Abdul Rashid. He was the one that won Britain's Got. Well, he didn't win Britain's Got Talent. He was on Britain's Got Talent, comedian and whatever.
Okay.
And so he's a Nigerian Muslim man. His wife is a Pakistani woman, but like he experiences a lot of sort of hate sometimes from like Pakistani community and stuff like that as well. So, but like, and then like, because there's a lot of there shouldn't be, but there is a lot of racism in the Muslim community as well. Because and the one thing that they always bring up is like, oh brother, did you know Bilal was black? Like Bilal being the first person that done the call to prayer was a black man or whatever. So they always assume, and he sees it as like a dog whistle for, I'm about to say some racist shit. It's like the Muslim version of I
know what you're saying.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I've got black man. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing. I know what you're saying. It's that sort of thing as well. So you've got it in all sorts of communities. Let's talk about something light. This is Darren, man. Jesus.
Right, let's talk about pronouns and that. I'm joking.
Just as wow. Mine is he and him. What is yours?
But you know what? No, but I think for me, it's a good conversation to have. And I know it's heavy, but I think, like for me now, I think I'm moving away from. Obviously we're highlighting different issues, but I think I'm personally, in terms of starting conversations, I'm moving away from spitting about facts and knowledge and moving into what does it take for people to have a difficult conversation? What's needed? What does listening look like? Because sometimes I could be listening to you, but in my head I've got a whole narrative and I'm waiting to hit back when you've spoken. Or what would... I'm going to say something even deeper with this. One of the things I've been saying to a lot of my white friends is, what's in it for white people?
I thought you were going to say, where's the seasoning? One of the things I say to my white friends is, what the fuck is this? Where is
followers going
down?
Where
is the paprika? Where is, honestly?
But you know what I mean? It's like, what's in it? So
there needs to be more conflict.
You think there needs to be more conflict?
Yeah, 100%. Because when you have conflict, you open up an opportunity for discussion to either possibly go in a negative way, but majority of the time after conflict, I think you get a good growth in communities, individuals, as friendship. Like, think about it. Whoever you argued with, that's your friend the last time, if there's conflict, it brings you kind of closer together. Or it could do the completely opposite. He's looking at me like, "Rah, bruv, I don't know about that." Don't you agree? Do you agree or not? If you don't say it, bruv, say it with chest, innit?
I don't know. Like, I mean, you have to spend a fucking lot of time around your friends to have a massive argument.
No, but conflict doesn't have to be.
It could be
ridiculous. It could be something going.
Oh my days, Messi's much better than Ronaldo. That kind of thing.
It could be that as well.
Yeah,
and then you're like randomly, you kind of, you know what? You're right. He's kind of right. Do you know what I mean? Like, it needs that, but people avoid those difficult conversations, so it's very fucking rare that it happens. A lot of the time, people like ignore it. It's always best to ignore. Don't waste your energy.
Well, retreat.
It's like what people say about like the people that were booing the taking a knee in it. Ignore them. It's a small section of society. It's like, no, they're not though. Like, there's a lot of people that feel that way. Like,
I think a massive amount of people that feel that way. I think only a small percentage of people are actually talking out about how they honestly feel. Yeah, I mean, I think you're right, Darren. I think there's something about the chaos that is natural. You know, you can't.
People like to create chaos too.
Yeah.
So you just got, I guess, kind of find the balance of that. I mean,
well, I mean, you know what? I mean, I don't personally. I don't go out my way to look for conflict, but what I do like to do is when it does unfold.
You've done martial arts, innit?
Well, I do. I looked at Police Story 1, Rush Hour 2. Is that enough? Does that qualify?
You know, anyone that does martial arts, no, I don't look for conflict, but if it does come,
no. But you know, listen, Bob.
I will be prepared to fuck up a motherfucker.
I've had my fair share. I mean, like, I had one dude say to me online, "Look, I'm going to be honest with you. You black people have brought nothing to the table other than diseases and famine." Yeah. And I just was like, now for me, I'm like...
Who was this?
It was a friend. It was someone on Facebook. It was their friend.
Facebook.
So you know, yeah.
Facebook's a madness.
And so I'm like, okay, it doesn't offend me because I know that's not true. And actually I'm thinking, okay, you're losing control.
Yeah.
So that's
but this goes back to what we were saying off camera though, right? Remember, like, we were saying, like...
Yeah, bring that back.
There's a lot of stuff that's verbal diarrhea that people wouldn't have ever said, right?
That they can,
that now, like, instead of like them just going, "Oh, this is fucking shit, I don't agree with this guy," or whatever, like, they're like, "Oh no, let me actually tell him I don't agree with him," because it's so easy. It's like there's this bit I do on stage. Basically, there's this bit I started doing on stage that I'm trying to work out, where it's basically like how back in the day, if you had an idea like, "Oh, I think the world's flat," you know, your friends will be like, "What the fuck you talking about, you prick, bro? Shut the fuck up! Like, what do you mean the world's flat? Hey, look, hey, he thinks the world's flat. Like, come and listen to this guy, bro." And then everyone's got, "Darren thinks the world's flat, bro." And then everyone's like, "Flat like your head," all of this sort of shit, yeah. And then they're cussing you about it. Whereas now, like, you go online and be like, I think the world's flat. And then somebody's like, "God damn it, I think the world's flat too. You right, buddy." And then it's just like, and then another one, well, I have been thinking about it as well. And I think the world is flat too, because you've never seen the end of it. Anyway, so like all these guys then have like built a community now, and then there's just like, we are now the Flat Earth Society or whatever. And it's like, you can't tell them that the world is not flat, because Darren's now got Andrade and fucking
a
like
big community of people,
like Jim Bob over there that are going, "Do you know what? Nah, he's right though." Like, and they're gassing you up. They're like,
and it gives you more confidence.
Darren, speak about it. Tell them how the world's flat, bro.
It's flat, bro.
And you know the mad thing is when you look at
it's like how the anti-vax movement now, that kind of thing as well. But
no, you're right. And the thing is, when you look at the movement and if you look at what it comprises of, not everybody actually subscribes to it. For some people, it's a void in their life, and that space.
Well, all we want is a sense of belonging. That's what everybody wants.
I was saying this about bodybuilders.
What about bodybuilders?
But I'm saying sometimes people attach themselves to certain things that ends up not being the most healthiest thing for them, because they don't have anywhere else to put their energy into. And because it's the only thing they put their energy into, when
and
it's
it gives
gone,
them that something.
It gives you an edge.
Yeah.
Hence why you should have a lot of things that not.
Okay, so what do you think is blackface when bodybuilders use that orange tan to try and like get bare brown? How close do you think that is to blackface? Because that is mad, bro. Right?
I don't get
you
it.
are seeing. Listen, it's mad in it. Like the way these guys.
I don't understand it.
Yeah.
What's the concept
so,
of it?
So the thing is, the darker your skin, the more like the striations in your muscles and stuff appear. So like you can see muscles like.
More definition.
You can see the definition in your muscles a lot clearer with darker skin. This is why, like, whenever you saw like,
it's why black people are leaner.
Because they just naturally got that natural makeup.
He was just like, that's why Paula Lima looks so fucking good. But it's like, that's why when you see the muscles on like black people, for example, they're much more. Like defined when
what are you trying to say?
Saying no, because it's not necessarily. It looks more defined because of the way, just purely because of their skin color, right?
It's the same as when you and me get a tan.
I don't know, man. I've still got a bit of timber to lose, but
Team soft bit.
But I forgot what I was saying.
No, so you was asking me
I don't even smoke weed and this shit's happening, bro. What the fuck's going on?
You was asking me what I thought about that. I mean, I've never really thought about it, really, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know if it has. There's a whole narrative and argument around the whole kind of objectification within the black community, and that's kind of spread out across society. I don't know much about it to really. I haven't thought that far to really.
Can I ask you a question?
Do
you think a lot of black people know about black history in the UK? Like all the people that I went to school with that you saw, do you think they know a lot about their history?
I think things have changed a lot recently in school. So when I was in school, and I don't know what it was for you when you was in school. When I was in school, I'm 42.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Motherfucker looks good for 42.
Bruv.
Motherfucker looks amazing for 42.
You know the next sentence. I was just,
You should say it together at the same time. 7, 8. Yeah. But
God damn, the motherfucker look good. Hey, look into that camera and show them how good you look, man.
Hey, and hold up your cocoa, brother.
Time to promote.
I bet your skincare routine isn't even that wild. It's like, I drink water and only water.
The man dances, bruv, every day.
Cocoa butter
and dance,
He dances every day, bruv.
Yeah. Do you meditate?
Sometimes, I try to when I can. Well, I always know meditation is in different forms. So at some point, I'm always doing some meditation.
Are you not like this guy, like waking up at 6 a.m. and going?
No, I'm not in that.
Right, okay.
Well, no, but I have done that, but I'm not at 6 o'clock in the morning. But
cool.
He does it in a different way.
Are you a religious man?
No, I'm from a religious family. So my mum is very much heavily Christian, but I'm not into that.
Are you religious?
Not really, not anymore.
Not anymore.
But yeah.
Say wallahi.
So sorry, you were saying something about him?
I was saying how he would challenge, like, people that meditate is kind of like not doing anything but kind of being present at that moment.
Yeah.
So he probably channels that energy when he's dancing and being very present when he's dancing at that moment of time. So therefore kind of feels like.
What sort of dance you do?
So I do body popping.
Okay.
Man taught diversity how to pop, bruv.
See, there you go. Right, there you go. There you go. Right, there you go. Pop, there you go.
Pop lock.
Diggity, 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 get pop, pop.
Yeah. His mentor is the brother that taught MJ, innit? Michael Jackson, not Michael Jordan.
Oh, Michael Jackson, yeah. I work with it. Yeah. I learned a lot from Poppin Taco. Big up Poppin Taco if you're watching. Probably ain't watching. But
he ain't watching.
He ain't watching. But
I ain't gonna be watching no Durham motherfucking Cartel. I don't know who that motherfucker.
But no, meditation. I mean, like I've been on like 10-day silent meditation courses. You know what I mean? I've done all that. Yeah,
right. I didn't know that.
So stressed.
You know what? Hey,
Matt, I'll tell you.
I reckon you should do it, bruv.
Listen, I find meditation stressful.
No, it's because.
So I've got this app called Calm, right? And like,
and it causes you stress.
Yeah, I've got this app called Calm, right? And it's just like the Daily Calm with Tamara Levitt. Find a seat, sit down. Wait, it goes. Untense your jaw. Get rid of all the tension in your body. Soften your belly.
Sounds like sex, bruv.
Yeah, all of that sort of shit, bruv. And I'm just doing this, and it's just like, now slowly focus on your breathing. In and out. In and out. And I'm just like, brother, this is long.
But right? You know what? It's long.
Too much things to think about, bruv.
But I'm going to tell you why it's long. It's because you don't know how to deal with it. You haven't trained your mind. When is the last time? The reason you can't deal with it is because you're constantly busy with technology, talking to people, mind being so busy. Where,
brother, 100%, brother. Like I was at a spa the other day. I couldn't even sit down in the sauna and steam. I had to stand up, walk around.
No,
I was like, and I could see myself. I was like, I need to shut down, bro. How do you do that? How do you do this?
So
bro?
Check this out now. The 10-day meditation. You wake up at 4 o'clock. You start meditating from 4 a.m. and it goes on till 9 p.m.
For 10 days.
For 10 days.
You don't chat to anyone.
No chatting.
But
dinner time.
Meditation doesn't have to be.
This is a very focused thing. Yeah,
it's a focused thing. You don't have to be just closing your eyes all day. You could be shutting your eyes for 30 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is. You can go for a stroll on a beach, sit back down and just be there at that moment of time. And it's so
so like I'll go for walks and that, but at least I'm moving in it. I'll go for walks and that without music. Without music, and then I'll just be like.
But it's in meditation is about the intention as well. So you have to intentionally be in that space. Yeah, you have to be in that.
But wait, it's the same. It's the same sort of thing, and this is why, like, when people were saying stuff about religion, I'm like, religious people when they pray and channel that energy, like it's a form of meditation.
Absolutely.
It is, and it's also a movement and exercise and stuff as well. Especially like if you
praying 5 times a day, bro.
Yeah, but also it gives you good habits. They wake up 5 in the morning or whatever.
There's all different levels to it.
Good mobility as well.
Yeah. Like lots of like stretching, touch of the tip.
Put it this way: it took me 5 days to begin to get my brain to slow down.
Yeah.
Because the first 5 days, your brain's in crisis. You're saying, "What the hell am I doing here?
Yeah.
Let me go."
Bro, I would go absolutely mad not speaking to people.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. The first time, when I was in Australia, I did mushrooms, I did psychedelics, and that was the first time.
Jamie, pull that up, please.
yeah.
Jamie.
What did you do? Psilocybin. I did psilocybin, and it was mad. It was the first time ever.
Good shit, man. Wow.
It was exactly like that. And it was the most spiritual thing I ever experienced because it was the first time ever.
Did you feel like the veil of humanity had been lifted?
Bruv, I'm not gonna lie, I felt like God at one point, bro.
What did you learn? Because people often say they walk away that we've kind of.
What happens is it helps you connect certain it opens passages in your brain, right? Certain things connect, and then you have a moment of, oh my days. Now I know.
Is it? What did he say?
So did you beat while you're on it? I'm joking. Sorry, it was just like, it was in the back of my mind. I'm a comedian.
Give this guy some drugs.
I had to fucking say it, okay? It's what happens, okay? Sorry, verbal diarrhea. Back to your story, yes.
And then I was like, okay, this is where my brain can get to if I start meditating. So when I meditated, I knew what I was working towards. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Did you see colours and shit?
Yeah. I did DMT as well, innit?
So
what together?
No, not together. I did on another day.
Dude.
But I saw madness, bruv.
So would you say now that since
it was the cheapest therapy I've ever done in my life, bro?
Wow.
Oh, I'm in therapy, bruv, and I think I need to just.
Hey, let me hook you up, bruv.
I need to be around someone I trust to do that as well. Like I'd have to be here, like.
this is the problem. A lot of people's that do all that stuff, they're like, oh my God, we're at a festival, let's hit some mush. None of that shit. You need to be with the right people, right environment.
By the way, aren't festivals like the biggest display of white privilege ever?
What the fuck, bro?
No.
Man went from meditation. He goes, let's not go that deep. He goes, let's go something lighter.
I'll tell you.
But don't you think?
I'll tell you, right? Like, you see, if I was to explain a festival to my parents, where it's just like, oh yeah, we're gonna go into like some tents in like a field somewhere or whatever, it's essentially a refugee camp. That's essentially where it is, bruv, right? And you see when people go, you see when people go, yeah? Oh my God, no, but it's amazing. All right, you put the Red Hot Chili Peppers in a camp in Syria and give them all DMT. They'll fucking have a great time, bro.
Wow. It's so true.
Wow.
It's so true.
Like, my man took it there.
Yeah, because look, they're in fucking mud in Glastonbury, bruv. They're shitting in these wooden cabinets, bruv. And they're shitting on top of each other. The only way they can experience it, oh, it's a fucking great time. They haven't showered for 3 days. It's a fucking great time because I was on fucking drugs and I was like, fucking. That's the only way they can. It's essentially a refugee camp with music, bro. And you can't convince me otherwise. That's why my parents were trying to avoid that shit.
Only difference is they paid to be there.
They paid to be there, and they're just like. But that's what I'm saying. When people go, "Oh, festivals are great," and whenever anybody says festivals are great, I'm like, "Do you drink and do you do drugs?" And they go, "Yes." Yeah. Anybody I know that doesn't do any of those things wants to be in like the VIP area.
Yeah, if it's VIP, it's come. It's come.
See what I'm saying? Like,
I've never been to a festival.
That does not surprise me. For a man with like, for me, I mean, such clear skin and that, like, that's not fucking.
Thing is, for me, if I'm going out, I want to hear good music and I want to hear places. I'm not interested in having mud on my tings. I'm not trying to sit up on no one so I can see someone that's 2 miles away on stage.
But, when he said mud on his tings, by the way, he doesn't mean tings.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like for you racists out there, right?
He's talking about his Air Forces that started talking.
Talking about his actual things, his possessions. Not, bro, there's bare things in here, but they all got mud on them. I can't chirp these gal, bro. I don't want mud on my things, brethren. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I'm fucking around.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, sorry, back to the original conversation. You were on DMT. Talk about it.
We went there. Okay, yeah. Because I wanted to ask you a question, but finish your thing.
No, you asked the question. No.
The question I was going to say to you before we done that detour is, the experience you had when you took the mushrooms then and what you saw and connected. Yeah. And you said, now that you're doing your yoga, would you say that you're doing yoga? No, meditation.
Man looks at him like, now you're doing one of them pussy old things. That's essentially what he looked. You see his facial expression. Now you're doing that yoga.
What do you mean?
I did yoga.
No, but it's like the way you just grouped it all together.
Man,
yoga, meditation, all of that shit, same thing, innit?
Yeah.
So when you did your yoga shit, talk to me about that.
Would you say that you still use that reference point now to when you're doing your meditation to get you to that place that you said you saw?
That's what you do. You work towards it, innit?
Oh, so you're still in that place now?
When you were doing...
Hey, you know what, yeah? I knew something happened to him in Australia, you know? Because the way man came back, no, man, it's amazing, man. This guy is an addict. He was like, fucking need to get back there. Fucking join me at 7 a.m. every fucking day. We're going to try this shit together. It's not happening. Just every day watching Insta Live trying to see Darren trying to get back to this shit. Fucking not working. But it's great. Join me tomorrow. Fucking hell.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
Nah.
This is why you have comedian on the show.
Yeah.
By the way, James just sent us McDonald's, and I'm looking at it, and I'm very tempted to see what's in this McDonald's package.
Oh, do you want to actually send that? Can you send it over? Let's open it. This isn't an ad, by the way.
No. This is James. Put some music over the bed of this in the edit, right? Now for a little ad break, sponsored by JamesSmithAcademy.com.
I know, bruv. Don't plug that shit in there, bruv. Are you mad, bruv?
Remember, guys, though, it's all about Need Up 24/7. Fuck the white man. No, I'm joking. It's banter. It's just for the fucking podcast. It's entertainment.
Wow. Yeah, what does he say? Yeah, send that. I'm sweating, bruv. This is too funny. You know what's mad? After this
That's
podcast,
what Diren, that was the read
I,
Diren gave me on the thing. Like, okay, here it is.
Next time I invite you, man, I'm gonna have to make sure there's a white guy, bro.
To come out. So look,
oh man,
we love it. We love it.
McFlurry. You want McFlurry?
Oh, is this one McFlurry? I'm lactose intolerant. I'll be shitting all over the place, bro.
Oh wow.
You lactose intolerant as well?
Yeah, I don't do that there.
You don't do that. Come on, my guy.
We do.
I don't do them things.
Yeah, don't do them things there. Yeah, you get involved.
But mac and cheese, I have mac and cheese. I've got lactose tablets to stop the mac and cheese. All right.
Man sent cheeseburgers and that.
Knock yourself out, man.
You want to eat that now?
Nah, it's gonna be cold afterwards, though, bro.
It's gonna be cold anyway.
Yeah.
Garlic bites. What's that? I don't know.
Hold on.
So hang on, what man sent?
Is that even halal, bro?
That's cheesy garlic
It's
bite.
allowed.
So man sent it from his ends.
Yeah, it's this thing.
Yeah,
basically,
it's technology, bro. There's this thing called Deliveroo and iPhones. It connects to the internet. Yeah.
Basically, in 2000, when I was in Australia, right? You know, I don't know if you've ever done this, but my mom would be like, "Hey, send me a McFlurry." So from Australia, I would Deliveroo my mum like a McFlurry or something when she was in Tottenham. So when I came back to the UK, me and Smith were like secret dieting in the sense of let's get lean for summer. So I would try and disrupt his diet. And I would send him food. And he's like, fucking hell, I can't. And then after that, Smith being Smith obviously went over the top and sent even more stuff back, and we've just been at war since. So he's had McDonald's. Yeah. He's thinking, I'm not letting Diren get leaner this summer. I'm sending him and the boys McDonald's.
So he sent everyone else. He would have sent.
Yeah, mate.
You look like you don't eat any of that junk food though.
I haven't. No, I don't go. I don't. Not often, but I walk up.
He was looking at no, man, we eat that. Bring that.
I've known him. How long have I known you for? Since I was, I don't know, in year 5. In year 5, year 6.
So what year would that have been then? 2002?
I don't know. Maybe something
2002.
like that.
2002.
I've never seen him have a drink.
Yeah, I don't drink.
Yeah, neither do I.
I've never seen him have a drink.
Yeah, I don't drink.
No, but I've never even seen you eat bad.
Pringles, man.
Pringles,
like,
but you don't eat a lot. You look
like you eat like couscous and aubergine and that, bruv.
Bruv, no, listen, let me tell you something. I've got a sweet tooth. I love my custard creams. I like my
So you don't eat Ital, it's Vital and all of that things. like you don't eat Ital on that.
No, I like my. I mean, at home we have a lot of various soups, rice, peas, chicken, I think like that. But
Callaloo and all of them things there.
Yeah, I
red
have
pea
it.
soup.
I have that.
Come on, man.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? Man. But I also like my. What is it? Cornish pasties. Oh, okay. I like my sausage rolls.
Damn, motherfucker! He brought it back. White people thought we were going, but he came and brought it back. He was like, "No, I have your cuisine. No, I have Cornish pasties. Of course I do."
I thought he was gonna drop when he said that to you. Obviously, I have my kebabs.
yeah. That's what I thought. But then he was
and chili.
He was like, "No, I'm gonna bring this back. I have my fish and chips. I have. I love a Sunday roast, the Yorkshire pudding."
Right, bringing it back, you need to meditate, bruv.
Okay.
You need to meditate, man. I swear, you will benefit out of it a lot.
No, I've tried it before.
Because briefly, I can see how busy your brain is.
Briefly, it worked, and then
What do you mean briefly it works? What do you mean?
I think when I first tried it, for the first week or so.
But how long did you do it?
I was doing it every day, but then after a while, I was like, bro, this is stressful.
Where's this? It
became a chore. It became a chore. No, before that, but it became a chore. As in, I've got to meditate today. And it's a thing on the to-do list rather than an actual
part of a well-being. Yeah, a whale.
Yeah. Do you see what I'm coming from?
I get you.
So then it became I've got to do this now. It's like, I haven't done my meditation. Oh my God, that's the thing I haven't crossed off the to-do list. And it just became bare stressful. So now I'm just like, I'll do it when I need to. Yeah. Man's bare stressed.
My friend, well, once you tap in to the consciousness, you will see a different side of yourself. Huh?
So what did you see? I want to
It was like when I did.
Explain to us, Lord, that we don't get drunk in that. Yeah. Explain to us, Lord.
To me, the world that we're in.
Oh my God.
It's got it deep already. You go.
We're so you're constantly busy. You. When's the last time you've done nothing? Right. You haven't. You haven't. Your mind is busy right now, bruv. You're thinking of shit to say. I can see it.
100%. Yes.
Whether it's your watch, whether you're talking to someone, whether it's your phone notifications. So you don't know how to deal with awkward silence. You can't just sit there and shut up. You can't.
I can do that, but I can't switch off to the point where it's like
you can't acknowledge.
I feel guilty if I'm not doing anything.
Okay. You want to feel productive, but guess what? Majority of the time, when people think that, they're not actually getting anything productive done. They're just making themselves believe they're productive. Hence why.
Watch a new reel from him, right?
No, it's true. Yeah.
Write that down.
Oh, you fucked up my flow, brother. Bring it back. So basically, what happened was, because you're never used to that, you're never actually productive.
Yeah.
Hence why sometimes if you actually give your mind that time, you can actually process and think about things. And then when you make a decision, an important one, you make a bigger impact.
Also,
if that makes sense.
No, totally. I was going to add to that. I think what you'd find is your brain is like, it's like a TV. It's loads of channels. And I remember when we're doing the first 5 days of meditation, we had to focus on just our upper lip and the air. Bruv,
you know what? Drop lip. Remember that?
Remember that? That's old school.
Yeah.
But you had to focus on the air from your nose coming out, and you had to focus on that. And I remember at one point, I was starting to get it, but every 5 minutes, my brain would wander off. And at one particular point, my brain wandered. So you had your eyes shut, and you're sitting down, upright and legs crossed. And then my brain started thinking about, I was in a situation in a restaurant where a lady said to me, look, the food's cold. And I'm not happy about it. And in my brain wondering, I said to her, I'm really sorry. I'm going to go back in the kitchen. I'm going to get you a new meal. But I've never worked in a restaurant in my whole life. But just to avoid that meditation, my brain was making me start thinking of scenarios that I've never even consciously been in. So what I'm saying is, there's doing nothing and sitting still, but there's actually letting your brain, because what happens is, even when you're telling yourself you're doing nothing, your brain is thinking of stupid. All of a sudden, washing your socks is the most important thing.
You know what?
Or you start, you know what I
mean? Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
You know when you do your stand-up and stuff, your most amazing ideas when you're being creative about when you write. Have you not got them doing nothing?
It's usually in conversation with
but
them.
Without thinking.
Yeah.
So
that's what I tell new comedians all the time, right? I'm like, I listened to a Bill Burr podcast where he was talking about finding your voice as a comedian it doesn't come from being on stage. He said you almost have to unlearn everything that you've learned about being on stage.
Interesting.
Because he said the reason you get into comedy is you're just funny around your friends, right? And people are like, you should do stand-up. He's like, but once you get on stage, like, it just becomes all convoluted. There's a mic, there's lights, whatever, and it's just like, set up, punchline. He's like, you're not thinking set up, punchline, story.
When you're with your mates.
Yeah, call back with your mates. It's just coming out naturally. So, and that's the level you have to get to when you're on stage.
So in essence, you kind of doing nothing, or even like folding your clothes, you're like, oh my days, that's a sick idea. Or you're having a shower, you're like,
in your shower, in the shower, or just as you're about to go to bed, you get some great ideas.
So in essence, meditation is like a more like a planned version. So
what you're basically saying is, me and Alex need to do DMT. This is what you're.
But listen,
saying.
The reason when I did psychedelics for the first time, it's just deeper. It's just deeper. It's just you get to a deeper thought process, and it's because everything is heightened to 100. Like every emotion that you feel is times 100.
Oh my God.
So therefore, if you're meditating, this is what I'm saying. But if you got shit to face, cuz that's why you need to meditate. That's why you said that. Do you know what I mean? Like, because you're thinking.
Oh my God! I'm like, the highs are high, but the lows are low, brother.
Hey, clip this.
No, clip the other bit, please. Clip the bit about festival. That'll go viral on TikTok. Thank you.
But it's interesting. I mean, do you think you can get there without doing the psychedelics?
He's so that reluctant to do it, but he wants to get there.
Is there another way around it? Yeah.
So,
it's so silly. I've almost got to watch what I got to say. I know you're going to jump
No.
Go on.
So that's apparently when you master it, that's what it is.
What's your favorite drug?
I've only done psychedelics.
Oh, okay, cool.
I've smoked a bit of weed, but took 2 puffs. I've never done. I call it cocaine and that.
Cocaine.
I've never done any of that because all of those things they're numbing. They're all numbing things.
Yeah. Okay.
Most people anyone that's listening, a lot of people that do all that stuff every weekend, I think they're just numbing things.
It's oppressive. It's oppressive, and the thing is, in a way, it kind of goes back to what we were saying about in the beginning.
Yeah.
We live in a society where you want to suppress all your extreme emotions and just only live and navigate with just your centered emotions. And so when you're then going back to having the difficult conversation we started this podcast with, people just ain't got, they don't want to do it. They're not really equipped to do it.
Yeah.
And so it's just like you said, the battle is no longer about discussing knowledge to move everyone forward. It's just about, listen to me. No, not listen to me. Listen to me. That's where that's the level that we're arguing at. You know what I mean?
Have you ever done drugs?
No, I did. First time I ever tried weed was in Toronto because it's legal. And my friend was like,
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, in Toronto it's legal.
Okay.
They've got like weed dispensaries and stuff. And my friend was like, I have got some Jamaican purple skunk. And I was like, I like 2 of those words, Jamaican and purple. So let's try it. And it was amazing because it was around somebody I'd known for a long time and it was great and whatever. Yeah. It was fun. But I ended up like pretending I was like rowing on like the.
You ended up like intentionally or?
No, I was just having a fucking great. I was busting joke and stuff. Like I've got videos of it when I was doing it as well. Yeah. Like just hilarious. When I look back at it, I was like, this is some funny shit. And then I did weed in Amsterdam as well. So anywhere it's legal, essentially, and you know what you're getting, rather than, man, I've got some good shit. It's like, given the way that is transported, it may well be some good shit, my friend.
So like, what I see weed compared to, say, like mushrooms.
Yeah.
I feel like weed can possibly be a downer depending on what you do. But like mushrooms is... It's kind of like a natural thing. Do you know what I mean?
Some tribes do practice it, but I think also you've got to be in the right place, because I also know people who've had stories where it's messed them up.
Yeah,
and they haven't recovered from it.
Yeah.
Usually people that need to face some shit.
Yeah,
legit, it's true, bro. It's true. A lot of people that go through trauma, it's because it's you block it out, you block it out, you block it out, you block it out, you block it out. You've never acknowledged or try and processed it. So what do? You take psychedelics that heightens everything, and then when you face it, you're like, "Oh my god, I'm fucked."
So I will ask a question to you. Do you how did you deal with things before? Would you bottle them up? Would you speak to people? Well, how would you do it?
You see, I'm quite open, right?
Yeah, but you're not going to be one of them people that are going to moan about it and put it on your Instagram stories like,
no, but
it's happening.
Yeah, but I've got good family and friends, so when I have someone to talk to, I can talk to them and I can get it out, right? So, but keep in mind, I think you have to be a certain level of maturity to experiment with those things and with the right people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because if you're too young, then it's like when I first started really drinking, I was like 24, 25. Drank for a little bit, blah, blah, blah. I've never in my life ever thought of like doing drugs or whatever. You know, I was like,
it's your boy DK here. Don't take any drugs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I never had any intention. But then I was like, hold on a second. Who has actually said this is a bad thing, and why have they said
I love the way he started drinking at 24, 25. He was trying to keep those dreams of a football player staying alive.
Yeah, you know them ones. It's true. It was like, hey, are you drinking tonight? No, I got a game tomorrow.
Got to about 24, they're like, no, mate, you're never going to make it. You're not fucking making it.
Hold my beer.
Wow. Swear down, I'm drinking a strong ball tonight, bro.
It's funny because I think, Darren, like when I think of you, you've always been... I would say you're quite unique in that sense that you've always had from my perspective, a family that's almost not, they won't go out and tell you to go and take all these things, but they're quite open minded and allow you to explore.
Oh, my dad's very open minded. Like, so is my mum, but my dad's very.
And I think that helps.
Would your dad like it if you're gay? How open-minded is he?
No, wow. No, it's a good question.
It's a good question.
It's a good question.
Because people say, "Oh, my parents are really open-minded," and you're like, "All right, if you're gay, what would he say?"
Initially, I think 100% they'll be like, "What the fuck?" Because the place that they're from, bruv.
Kieran's parents, that is something to work on. Okay, so we need to get past that. But hopefully, as a family, a collective family, because Darren's followers, that's what we are. We can all come through that.
But then they'll have no choice.
Yeah.
Then they'll have no choice. Do you know what I mean? But initially, nah. Any Turkish Kurdish fan. Imagine if you said that to your dad.
No, there's no way. There's a joke I used to.
That doesn't mean. I think like that.
No, it doesn't. But it's
a generation thing.
But it's like, it goes back to what I was saying earlier.
Yeah.
Come on now, you know what I mean? They want to go
very well documented in the music. This
Jamaicans. Let me go to search. I believe I'm Grenadian Antiguan, by the way. Just
Grenada.
Are you naturally fast?
Grenada, by the way, home of nutmeg. Right,
oh,
so
okay,
if you didn't know that, there you go. Don't you have it on a flag as well? Yeah, there you go.
Oh, I'm impressed.
There you go, man. Come on, man. I'm a learned man, right?
What do you study in uni?
Me, biomedical sciences.
Right.
Oh, is it?
Did you get through?
Yeah, I finished it. I originally got into med school, and then I fucked up my A-levels and stuff. But yeah, I was going to become a doctor. All of that shit.
Shut up.
Yeah. Wallahi, brother. I was.
Swear down.
I quickly realized once I was in uni, I was like, I don't want to do any of this shit. Like, I was like, this is boring. Like, I can't imagine being around a hospital. I can't being around labs, all of that sort of
stuff. Making jokes at the table when man's on his last time, you're still busting two shots.
Swear down, that's what your heart looks like, yeah? Big man.
Mehmet, sorry, you're gonna die. Oh no, joking.
Yeah, so I mean, no, I think I'd have an amazing bedside manner. Like I'd have been great with the kids and all that sort of stuff and whatever. But I don't think, like, I don't deal well with routine, and like I like my sleep and stuff as well. So the idea of doing like nights and
people that tend to be very creative struggle with that sort of routine.
Yeah. So it's just like you telling me like I've got to be on call for X amount of hours, and I've got to be like some of these surgeons, man. Some surgeries are like 14 hours, and these all these men are having a Haribo and a Capri Sun. Like there's some. Do you know what I mean? Like,
that's right. It's from the dispenser machine downstairs.
That's mad to me, bruv. Like, and I can't live like that. And also, it does age you fucking immensely. 100%. Like when I see people in those like really stressful jobs and whatever, it's terrible. And also
even night shifts.
Also, bruv, you know, like if you're a doctor or a scientist or whatever, the learning doesn't stop. You know, and when and for me, it's forced learning. Like obviously, I like learning. I like learning every day, but I like learning about things that I'm interested in. Yeah. When it's like, oh, this study's come out. Have you read it? Because it.
Do you know what? That's such a good point.
Yeah.
That is such a good point, bro.
Yeah.
Keep going.
It's forced learning. It's always like revising. You're always revising for the rest of your life. And I mean, I'm sure that's good for some neurological pathways in your brain and stuff, and it keeps it active, etc., etc., etc. However, when you tell me to do something, it immediately puts me off. Yes, I need to want to do it. I'll be on Wikipedia pages for ages about shit that I'm interested in. But if it's like you tell me to research, fucking, do I have to?
Yeah, that's powerful, because I think there's something about that whole forced learning culture, because I think, especially now where science and stuff is changing and evolving so quickly, there's something about, and again, I don't know if it's a rebellious thing, where sometimes just through principle of being told that you have to do something, if it's just not in your nature, some people won't want to do it, not because they can't do it, they just don't want to be told to have to be doing it. So the idea of being told to do it turns them off. So
there's a lot of children that like with behavioural difficulties and stuff like that, where you see like so-and-so's angry in school, or someone says throwing chairs and whatever. He just doesn't like authority. He doesn't like people telling him what to do. Otherwise, he
doesn't know how to deal with it.
He or she would probably be an incredible student. But what you've done there is just
with what they love doing, and when they find that, they're usually really successful.
Yeah, my legs drawing.
I mean, like I said, Darren in school. I mean, you know, with Darren, his issue was just that
I couldn't sit in class. I used to get kicked out all the time. I used to go to him. I used to get kicked out of class. I was like, where's Alex? I need to find Alex, bruv. Because I couldn't sit down.
But also how you...
Is that why you started shaving your legs? Sorry, I just had to mention it on camera. That's funny.
Actually, I didn't even clock, but now the clocks, they're still shiny and okay.
Wow, they look amazing.
Wow, you can really dance.
Wow, you can really dance.
Wow.
What a coincidence. Wow. Yeah. So what, you couldn't concentrate in class?
Yeah, I couldn't.
But also as well, like how you used to, like for me, what worked with Darren was having conversations that were adult and kind of logical. You didn't want to be spoken down to like a kid. Because you process things. Sometimes teachers don't like a kid that process things a certain way. So you had certain characters. Darren was the one. There was another boy called Ian Spolling that would always backchat
Bleep
the
name
teachers.
out. Bleep that name out.
But would backchat the kids.
Yeah.
I mean, backchat to teachers, and especially if
I wasn't really disrespectful to the teachers though. The stuff I was saying.
You just needed a good enough reason to do it.
Bruv, no. They knew I was right. So they didn't like
that's
it.
That's what it is. It's because your reasoning was like.
Before we move on, do you not just think like now as you got like back in the day you thought, right, teachers, man, they must be smart, and nowadays you see like who's teaching out of your group of friends you grew up with, and you swear down he's teaching the next generation. Yo, they are fucked.
yeah, that's so true.
Marcus is a teacher. It's long.
That is long. Get your kid out of that school. Get your kid out.
Your brethren with the neck tattoos and stuff is now a teacher, and you're like, hold on, like I thought teachers were like this. It's never the brainiacs.
And it's not, and
it's never the brainiacs. It was never the guys that were like that were exceptional at anything. It was always everybody that you know has become a teacher is sort of like was always just middle of the road. Like, no, you get 6. The one I get when I was like, oh, why'd you come and get 6 weeks holiday, bruv?
Yeah. Oh my god.
6 weeks holiday, bruv.
You do, but even then, like, I mean, I wasn't a teacher. I was a mentor, so it wasn't as bad for me. But for a lot of teachers, like, you're doing so much work that during the 6 weeks, it takes 2 weeks just to calm yourself down. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so actually, in the end, you only have about 2 weeks, because in the next 2 weeks, you're then anxious about going back into it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but then you got half term, and you got. Listen, I don't feel sorry for anyone that's got a 6-week holiday, bruv. Like, there's nothing you can say to me.
Bruv, your life's a holiday.
No, it's not. But like you got 6 weeks, and World Cup's on. You can go to all the matches, bruv.
True that.
I mean, like man are out here going, oh yeah, have you got a beer garden for after work? Have you? These guys are just going to whatever like match they can. Yeah, it's hard for me to feel sorry, but yeah, that teaching, innit? You don't get like the people.
They're humans.
Yeah, they are, and you know, and which is what,
and they're winging it.
Yeah,
they're fucking winging it.
Yeah.
Also, did you not find it amazing today? The A levels, as we're recording, by the way, guys, A level results have come out.
Yes,
and they said that there's been the highest percentage of people that have got A and A star grades than ever before. Like, if you look at the graph, it's literally gone whoop, like that, right? So when you dissect the data, a lot of it says that it's a lot of people from private schools. Obviously, it's a higher proportion of people from private schools that have got the A's and A stars. Whoop-de fucking do. I could have told you that.
Yeah.
Right. But then there's also a rise in the amount of people from state schools that have got A's and A stars, which is interesting that it's within a pandemic you've seen the rise in its grades, which begs the question, is the academic system in which we allow our children to go to now fit for purpose, in a sense where
purpose of what? As in their life?
Fit for purpose, as in, is it fit for purpose? Is it is it fit for people to learn? If you think about every other industry, for example, it has had to transform, it's had to maneuver, it's had to do different things. Whereas teaching, we're still using methods that were developed in the hundreds of years ago, where it's like kids, classroom, whiteboard. Now, what's it? A blackboard turned into a whiteboard, turned into a smartboard, but it's essentially the same thing. It's like, look at this fucking shit on the board.
Yeah.
Look at it in your books or whatever. I mean, it's interesting because I think a couple of years back in Iceland, for example, they trialed this form of learning where it was like they wouldn't learn in subjects, right? They would learn about eras and they'd learn everything about that holistically. So say, for example, you're learning about the 1920s, you're learning about the war, you're learning about mathematical...
whatever was relevant.
What book is this? Did you read that in a book?
No. It was just... I remember at the time it came out and I was interested in it. But anyway, so that's what. But right now, for example, do you think it is interesting that where kids have been left to their own devices predominantly, where they've been at home, that grades have improved? And does it get you thinking about your life and how best you would learn when you were in school?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Sometimes I would, when I was left to my own devices and I was like, let me just fucking read this or go online and find something.
Yeah.
I found I learned a lot more than when I was in a lecture theatre and a teacher's fucking moan. Are the slides online?
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm gonna go.
I'll go home. I to the point where it got to the point where in my final year I was only, I think I had there was lectures I had all the time, but I think I'd end up going to a small amount of lectures because I was like, I don't learn sitting there taking notes.
I think that also depends on the individual. But I think when people have had the freedom of that at home, they've probably felt, even like sleep, kids are probably getting more sleep being at home, which makes a huge difference to how you learn and how
because I know one of the lads that I teach, he was telling me that he would wake up just 15 minutes before and go online because obviously he's at home. But it's interesting.
Nasty you. What happened to the shower?
Yeah, I done told him. Don't worry about that. You know, one's like, really?
Yeah,
interesting. But the thing is like it's a good question because when the pandemic was kicking off, one of the things I was chatting to my sister about was you were starting to have conversations that were starting to explore, like you said, the system that isn't working and does it need to modify. We're moving into this new era where there's so much information online. Kids can almost do their own learning and still make it. We're seeing it all the time. People that are forging their own careers and they're making it. What role is school playing? So there's a couple of questions that I'm throwing, and for me, they're merely questions. I don't have any conclusive answer.
Well, we're not going to have the fucking answers. A comedian and a PT, bro.
Well, I'm putting that there to anyone who's listening, okay? Anyone that's listening. But so those questions are brewing. People are starting to question the education system as we know it. Then all of a sudden, kids are doing well. So
I would love to homeschool.
Is there a narrative around the fact that maybe by talking about the fact that the results have gone up and putting emphasis on that, is a way of justifying or trying to reduce that narrative of maybe we need to change that school system? Or does it highlight what you're talking about, that when the kids are at home, that they are having improved learning? I don't know. In the same way that, for example, and again, I'll just relate to the racism, but we'll come back out, we won't stay there, is that when they talked about, when the government released a report about there's no evidence of institutional racism, you put that report out there. I spoke to different people. So a lot of people were like, what the hell are you talking about? Some people will be like, yeah, okay, now I agree with that. Is it more of a silencer attempt, or does it really open up a new conversation? Do you know what I mean? Do you see what the context? And I don't know.
I think there's also, it's probably also a pressure thing as well, in the sense of how many kids respect their teachers and actually want to listen to their teachers. I would probably listen to my mum and dad more.
Half the time, I thought like most kids' favorite teacher was probably the PE teacher.
Whether it was PE teacher or mentor.
Yeah. For
you know what I mean?
Boys, it was mainly like PE teacher, because it was just like, oh, man can play football.
Yeah.
Get to the football team.
Yeah, but if you're home, if your mum and dad says something,
No, 100% you listen to it.
Pressure of that.
100% you listen. I think personally that I do think the way teaching methods are outdated. I think in an era where, like, for example, they recently got rid of the idea of a non-calculator test, right? And I thought, fucking, yes, incredible, amazing, right? Why do I need a non-calculator test when I've got a fucking phone or an Apple Watch or whatever right next to me that can tell me? Like, I'm not going to be smarter than Siri at working out any equation whatsoever. Siri is going to beat me 10 times out of 10, right? It's just not happening, right? Even 2 + 2, right? It's beating me, bro.
It's 4.
Yeah. So, I think it isn't fit for purpose, and I do think we need to really have a radical overhaul about the way we teach people, especially in this day and age. When you've got TikToks, for example, that are like so educational in a minute.
Yes.
You've got like, do you see where I'm coming from? You've got like YouTube as such a massive resource, Google, whatever. Like, you've got to start being pragmatic about a lot of these issues and thinking like, is it worth somebody fucking reading a textbook like back to back or whatever? Or do we need to be a lot more, do we need to be in a generation where we're a lot more tailored in our learning, where we look at people from a very young age and go, because at 14 years of age, you're essentially asked to choose subjects which determine...
Yeah, it's mad.
You haven't even fully gone through puberty yet.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Which is like,
I did.
It's such a mad thing. No, but it's so mad, right? You think about it that like at 14 you got to choose your GCSE. So if you choose science-based subjects, you're essentially eliminating
everything else.
And it's like now you have to go down a scientific route where it's like, what if I don't want to? Which is why like the American system's so good in terms of, well, I mean, it's better in that sense, where like even in uni you pick a whole bunch of subjects and then you major in a particular one, right? So you're like, oh, I took some such and so class in college or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
We do need a radical overhaul, because I feel like, in this whole tech generation and stuff, like everything else is moving so fast, but our teaching standards haven't.
Do you think it will happen? Can you see it happening?
I think the moment. I mean, all right. So this is where we go even deeper, right? Like there is an actual war for. It's a silent war. It's like a cold war that's going on between the different tech giants.
Okay.
As to how they colonize young minds, and what I mean by that is what systems they become familiar with. So when you see like tech giants like Google or Apple donating equipment or to schools or whatever, If you're 5 years old and you've got a Google Chromebook, you're learning about Google Docs and whatever. Like, so that's how you're going to learn. You're like, oh my God, So you're going to be stuck within Google systems. Yeah. The likelihood is for the majority of your life, right?
It's a madness.
It's interesting. Like I read something the other day, right? If you look at anybody under 20 these days, or even probably a little bit older than that, most of them don't use Microsoft Word. Yeah, like for you or like whatever.
Still,
alien. What do you mean you don't use Microsoft Word? Everybody use, but it's like young people are like, well, why would I do that when there's Google Drive?
And the docs,
when like all of us can
that's
be.
That's not mad. That's me, bruv.
Yeah, all of us can be on Google Drive. Yeah, or Pages.
Pages, Apple.
Yeah, because it's on Apple, whatever. It's the same thing when like iPads are being donated to certain things. Like, wow, I could draw on this and whatever, and then it's linked to my Apple iPhone and whatever, and then there's like the more learning utensils that come out from X, Y, and Z.
But
and
even when I see an Android, I'm like, bro, what is that?
Yeah, but that's the thing. But it's because you've been so used to this. Whereas, like,
Sorry.
yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I probably assumed you were an Android. It's always the guys that. There's always the guys that think a lot. They're like, I am not restricted with my phone. My phone allows me the freedom to do anything I want with it. And you're like, but has it got AirDrop? No, it don't. So really. But yeah, no, that's a whole different conversation anyway. With the like.
I think homeschooling would be.
Well, no, but it's
hard though, man. Because for parents, there's a lot of responsibility.
It is very hard, but I think there should be. I mean, the number one reason schools still exist is precisely why you just mentioned, because it is essentially childcare, right? Like that's not going to change.
It's the only time some parents they're like send them away. They're like, oh my God.
Yeah, like
well, they're going to work for a lot of them.
Yeah, exactly. So like for a lot of people, they don't have that luxury of it being, and for a lot of people, they don't have the resources themselves to teach children.
That's
right.
True.
It's hard. Like one, you think you know, and you think you'd like the idea, and then it comes like there'll be a day where you're like, fucking can't be asked for this.
When I meant homeschooling, I mean I'd get a teacher in my home.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah, you tutoring. You mean tutoring? Yeah. Yeah. So, like with kids though, I think there should be a lot more focus on group work. Essentially things that get you ready for the world.
Yeah,
so
100%.
You're going to be in a work environment, right? We need things that harness your leadership skills from very early on.
Yeah.
We need things that
emotional intelligence, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Emotional intelligence, absolutely. And I think there needs to be a lot more emphasis on sports. Not just football, right? But fitness in general. Fitness in general. So okay, fair enough, you don't like football, you don't like basketball. But we need to get you active, and you need to understand why.
They do that well in Australia, bro.
Yeah, but you know,
because it's such a let's go to the beach. We're gonna do PE class on the beach. We're gonna do this. You get them going to the beach at 6 a.m. before school. Yeah,
exactly.
But people waking up there at like, I get up there at 5 a.m. I go get a coffee. Coffee shops open at 5. I go for a stroll at 6 a.m. Everyone's up taking their dogs for a walk before they go to work. Yes, and everyone's. We tend to be healthier, more active.
The weather has a massive part.
Of course, that's what I'm saying.
How we cultivate anything. Like, I mean, even if you go and look at football, people are often surprised as to why English football for years has been so route one, where it's like hit the ball over to the big man.
Hit and hope, as my dad used to call it.
No, but you know, but the reason for that is if you look at the seasons in which we play football in this country. So it's mainly between the autumn and the winter months, right? Yeah. And then secondly, you look at the condition of the pitches,
you can't run
especially from grassroots. You can't do all of this technical whatever. You've got to try and get the ball over and move it fast or whatever. So what ends up happening is
the style of
football is dictated by the environment in which you're in as well. So. That's why, like in Australia, for example, it's in like Japan and a lot of these countries as well, where the environment they're in allows them to do that sort of stuff as well. Sure. But I think we in this country, for example, like you've been told, oh yeah, we're gonna have PE, basketball, football, netball. Oh, you don't like that? Well, that's it.
You're going to sit out on the side and just do some.
It is where it is, and that you get a lot of people that. Even if they have like body issues or whatever, for whatever reason they don't want to get involved with it. And it's understandable because it's like you're telling them to play a sport. Not everybody likes sports. But if you found the right activity for these people from a young age, they'll get involved.
People that tend to do sport and that are active, once they apply that sort of discipline to anything that they do in life, they become successful.
100%,
So therefore, 100% more emphasis on sport.
Yeah, there's a lot.
So
more
essentially,
stuff.
You're talking about a much more holistic approach to school.
To learning, not just school. To learning in general, where it's like it's all very well saying you have a school, but how much are the people learning? And even with like the skills that you have, so many people go, yeah, well, I've never had to use simultaneous equations ever since I left uni and whatever, all that sort of cool. But you need to learn it because if you do eventually want to become an engineer or whatever, you don't want that fucking shock surprise or whatever. But it'd be about having classes that aren't necessarily maths, history, science, etc.
Yeah, I hated them.
I think it's weird because I hated science. I hated history, but actually getting as I get older and understanding things like understanding society and human emotion, history fascinates me.
But that's because the person that was teaching it was like.
But also
dry as well.
I wasn't interested in learning about Anne Boleyn and Henry VIII. At that time, I couldn't see how this related to me, so it was rubbish history.
But okay, so when I say like there needs to be a radical overhaul, so for example, if it's like, wow, right, okay, you don't like history, or for example, but if I'm telling you, okay, what I need from you to do is to provide me with a presentation as a group about a period in history that you guys are interested in or that you want to be interested in. I'm not going to decide what, but I will provide the resources that you need in order to do that. So you'll be like, all right, we're going to, if you give them a list of options, we're going to focus on Islamic history. Yeah. We're going to focus on the civil rights movement.
Right there, you got history of hip-hop even.
Yeah. Do you see where I'm coming from? Yeah. So then, but it's like, it has to be comprehensive and you're going to get graded on it. Yeah. But if it's an area that people are interested in, it's like, oh shit, and then another part of the class is doing another thing and it's like, oh my, and they're all learning about it, it may provide for a much better way of schooling.
You know what's mad? I don't even know what the hell I'll title this podcast. Man solving world problems. Man solving world problems.
Two Kurds and a black man walk into a bar.
Kurds and a black.
Said a black man. I never said a black. Please. It is there for the record. I never said a black. I said a black man.
I have that content now. We'll edit that. We'll edit that. K Kurd with
that blue tick. Yeah. But I mean, one of the things I've always said is like emotional intelligence is key to understanding how we navigate whatever we need to navigate, and that's why I say going back to the conversations that we've had. It's about, you've got to have an understanding of self. One of the things that when working with a life coach that I've been working with, she really got me to understand my own demons and my own dark sides, so that when I'm entering into a difficult conversation,
bro, you got demons. You know when you look at a guy and you're like, you're so centered and stuff in life, you've got demons. Like
we've all got them things. You know what I'm saying?
We've all got a dark side.
Yeah, we've all got a dark side. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah, we've all got a dark side. We've
all got a dark side.
I just thought to myself, like, one day I thought I liked chickpeas and I didn't, and that came as a massive shock to me.
Basically, what we're talking about. Yeah. But like, it's about understanding yourself on a deeper level. So conscious, subconscious. Yeah. Understanding how subconscious drives.
Checking yourself.
Checking yourself, man. Checking in.
What a lot of people forget with any line of work that they do is they deal with people.
Yeah.
And sometimes people need to forget about the technicalities and actually worry about being able to even hold a conversation with someone to actually learn from them or anyone. Yeah. But
let's end it there, guys. This has been a spectacular episode, if I do say so myself.
This is
if you are on social media, follow us all on that as well, please. Darren Cartel, Darren.Cartel, Neat Up 24/7. It's a great program. If you specifically for anybody that's trying to lose weight in a very tailored way, you've got video calls regularly with clients. He holds you accountable.
My guy. Hey, hold on, quickly. You see when you did the PT thing with the accountability, I know you were thinking about me, bruv. You think I don't know that? I was like, did you see my comment? I was like, how did I not see this, bruv?
Yeah, so like if you do need someone to hold you accountable for what you're doing and giving you the right amount of calories to eat and the right amount of exercise in a way that you're going to be happy and you're going to see results.
And the community
Darren
as well.
Cartel is your man. It's a community-based approach, so it's not going to be singular. I'm not going to be shouting at you.
Black, white, Jamaican, and all the
sorry,
as well. Any
just
race.
don't sign up to jamesmith.com.
No, but
Need Up 24/7.
Thank you guys for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
You know
very
where
much.
to find them. Alex Peters on Mechanical.
Alex_Mechanical with the KOLL. Mechanical.
On the Instagram. If you do have a problem finding him, it might be because of his Android. I'm joking, Alex.
What, bruv? Android and proud.
Wicked. Thank you, guys.
What is that? No, hold on. Follow me, bruv. Don't try and stop the thing,
K Kurd, bruv.
I am on tour in October and November.
Come
on, find me. Come on, find me, bruv. It's not going to be massive like James Smith and Darren's tours, but there are venues in it. Like they're brick and mortar, there's drinks there, there's vibes, right? I'm going to be bringing a support act, all sorts. It's called The Spoken Kurd. Come to the tour.
Can I get some
Follow
tickets
me,
for that?
KAEKURD, KAEKURD, KAEKURD. In your mind, go and add me. In your mind, and go and add me where we have big conversations. Yeah. Anyway, you can have tickets. They're available at Ticketmaster.com. You can't have tickets.
Do you want to do a little... Hey, you know what?
Why are we beatboxing? Is it because there's a black eye on? That is racist, bro. That is fucking racist. Okay? After the conversations we've had, that is fucking racist.
And also, share this podcast because I feel like it could help a lot of people Send it to all your white friends.
You know, I ain't said nothing at all. I've just
No, but you know, this is people.
Look. If we get 100, how much you get regularly on this? We'll bleep it out.
On what?
How much listens you get?
Downloads?
Yeah.
It would get like 10, 15,000.
10, 15,000. All right.
Yeah.
Get this to 16,000, right? Alex will unveil his skincare regime, right? So if you want to get Alex's skincare regime, right? If you want to look glistening like this, he will release all of these details on Alex_mechanical on Instagram. So please go and share it with your mates. We're going to get to 16,000 downloads, and he's going to share all of these secrets.
Are you listening? You're going to be glistening. Thank you very much.
if you're listening, there you go.
Thank you very much for listening. Make sure you subscribe and follow these guys. Peace and love. Ciao.